Today I'm here to talk about how the economy, our career, and our financial situation is impacting Generation X. You know, it's interesting when we talk about the economy today, we have to look back, and I've talked about this on previous shows, is when we Generation Xers entered the workforce, we entered the workforce in a recession. And it was kind of interesting because when you look at, you know, the challenges and the limitations that we had kind of going into the workforce when we were in our 20s, let's say, is similar to what's happening today. But not only is it when we are starting our career, now, today, we should be in our prime income generating periods. When we're in our 40s, that's when we're sort of hitting that peak, we're hitting that stride, we've got the experience, we're moving up through the organizations, and then here we are, find ourselves in another economic downturn. And many of us, including myself, have been victims of the economy. We've been victims of corporate restructuring, of layoffs, of downsizing, right shifting. You know, when you look at my situation, you know, I was rising up through the corporate world, 24 years, made it to the senior level, and through the economic changes, corporate restructuring here across North America, my job became redundant here in Canada. So, you know, I had the opportunity to you know, look at other avenues of career, let's say, change my career, follow that career path in that industry, but I would have had to pack up my family, move to other parts of Canada or potentially in other countries. And it was something that, you know, when we look at Generation X, the things that we value, the corporate world is not providing today. The things that we value is family time, you know, quality of life. You know, we want those things that we value in life. And you know, when you look at my situation, I chose to stay where I am. I chose to move into a entrepreneurial type opportunity. And I really believe that right now today, Generation Xers are prime for entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship provides those values, those qualities that we're looking for in life beyond, you know, rising up through the corporate ranks, and it's all about hitting, you know, those levels and getting that corner office and, you know, working hard. And you know, when you look at the baby boomers, the qualities that they had were, you know, you work hard, you work long hours, you know, you sacrifice family time. You know, kind of looking at the Generation X values, you know, we want to be there for our kids' soccer games, we want to be there for our kids' hockey games and be the coach of the team, and you know, and vacations with our kids, and you know, and those types of things. And you know, in a way, entrepreneurship provides those qualities, and corporate world doesn't. You know, when I look back at, you know, maybe 3-5 years ago, you know, I was traveling across North America 2 to 3 weeks a month, and it was, you know, it was just not providing the satisfaction that I was getting. Yeah, it was a great income. Yeah, you know, I was working hard and working a lot of hours and traveling and seeing cool places. But you know what? It wasn't enriching me. And I think that Generation X right now is sort of sitting there at this position, at this place in our life that we're not enriched. We're not satisfied, even if we have a job. For those of us that don't have a job, who have been victims, that are out looking for jobs, you know, we're challenged with, you know, looking for a job. The question becomes, are we employable? Or is the younger Gen Y filling those positions that we're competing for, but they're younger, more employable, maybe more aggressive in some cases, but maybe willing to take less of a salary than what we are, right? You know, and so then do we go back to school? 40, 45 years old? Does a Generation Xer want to go back to school, retool their whole skill set to move off and do a new career path? You know, and those are the questions that I've been asking a lot of Generation Xers. And you know, I was talking to a mediation lawyer the other day, and one of the challenges that he deals with in the workplace is workplace conflict. So I was asking him some questions, and I was asking him about generational differences, and he said, yeah. And I said, the clients that you work with, is the organization run by boomers? And I said, is the conflict between the Gen X and the Gen Ys? And he said, yeah. And I said, the challenge is the way organizations are run by boomers don't meet the values of the Generation X, because we value other things and there's conflict there. So, from a career standpoint, what we're seeing here is a little bit of rub. From the economy standpoint, I think the economy is really impacting us. Not unlike myself, there's other Generation Xers out there who have been displaced, looking for work. Are they employable? There's a lot of things going on. And, at our age, it's one of those things where, you're still young enough to refresh a skill set, but, I've been working there, and, like in my situation, I worked in that industry and, through that corporate ranks for 24 years. After 24 years, kicked to the curb. The organization said, yeah, thanks for coming, there you go. I think, at the end, they treated me well, but I had to fight for everything that I got. But, I was lucky enough to have some other entrepreneurial ventures on the side that I transitioned in, and and that's what I teach today, about helping people can look at other career paths. So I really believe that Gen X is primed for entrepreneurship, home-based business, those types of avenues. I think we're very open to technology, internet, e-commerce, social media, those types of things, where I think that which provides entrepreneurial opportunities. Finally, when it comes to financial situations, we're in a mess. We are in a mess. Generation X needs a wake-up call. And the reason I say that is because when you do the math, I've talked to many Gen Xers, when you do the math, you're 40, 45 years old, let's say, and you say, okay, I'm going to retire when I'm 65. When you actually do the math, what they have set aside now, how much they need to set aside, let's say, in the next 20 to 25 years to retire at 65, they're not even close. Some cases, I've done the calculation with some Gen Xers, they need to put away $20,000 a month starting today for the next 25 years to retire, living the lifestyle that they want. And, so it's a wake-up call. Generation X needs to wake up and realize that, the direction they're going, they're going to be the greeter at Walmart forever. And, and some baby boomers, many of the baby boomers are dealing with this challenge right now. And I just think that there's a bubble happening that Generation X needs to realize. That, we're on a path to a serious wake-up call. And it's coming, and it's going to come quickly. And I just think that Generation X needs some education. We need some consideration around, our financial situations, especially when the economy and our careers fall down. They go in the crapper, right? And we don't have a backup plan, and we stay unemployed and for a year or 2 years at a time seeking that next job. And, like I talked about in some previous videos, waiting for those jobs to be created and the government to sort of, stimulate the economy and create these jobs again. Because, as you'll learn in some previous videos, in many of those sectors, those jobs aren't coming back. It's the new economy. It's a performance economy now, so everything's changing. So Generation X needs to take the blindfolds off. They need to look at what's going on here. They need to look at where the economy's going. They need to understand where they need to be headed. And, so I really believe that, we're in a tough spot right now. And I think that's been my passion of creating the GenXGuy.com and sort of speaking into the lives of Generation X and saying, different areas, wake up, come on, let's go. We have to consider these. We have to consider these options. And, recently in the media, there was some articles about Generation X wants a raise. And I did a whole 5-part series on how Generation X could go get a raise, how effective that will be, what the response would be from the employer, and I got a lot of feedback from that. And I got a lot of, I think Generation X got some value. It opened up their eyes. So, my goal here is to continue with these series and talk about these issues and uncover it. And it's really hard to address it all in one short video here. But, you can go back to the previous videos and stay tuned, because I'm going to continue to talk about this and talk about the economy and career and things that are going on in the media. and just cover some stories and, you know, hopefully inspire Generation X and help them think about different paths, about financial security, about career options, things they can do to secure themselves and their families and their futures and their financial situation. So, yeah, so that's, hopefully that addressed the question. And, you know, I appreciate your time and I appreciate you listening to this. And, you know, if you got some feedback, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear some feedback. I'd like to hear, you know, how's the economy impacted you? How is your career right now? Are you happy with your career? Have you been displaced like I was? Have you found another career? Have you changed careers? Are you back in school? You know, have you become an entrepreneur? You know, and have you actually sat down and calculated out your financial plan and when you plan to retire, how much you have tucked away now, how much you're putting away on a monthly basis, and actually done the calculation? Are you on track? Are you behind? What's your plan to get caught up? So, you know, hopefully you found this interesting. Hopefully you found it informative. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you on the next show, and I look forward to your comments below. So, again, hope you're having a great day, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.